Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Harley and Nina scene. Now, Harley, first of all, Nina was just out of pocket in general for just even approaching Carly. I understood that she wanted to thank her for a good visit with Willow and stuff, but the best way to sit there and keep the peace is to not engage with her. Like you went out your way to see her, to find her, right? You could have just left it alone, just like, all right, cool, she did a good thing, whatever. But you literally went out your way to sit there and try to find her, right? To sit there and thank her. It's unnecessary because she doesn't like you. Okay, she wants no parts of you. Um, Now, Carly was out of pocket when she practically accused Nina of stealing her life. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Listen, Carly, as much as I like Carly, you're out of pocket for that one. Listen, you lost your hotel because of you. Okay? You lost your hotel because of the stupid decisions that you made. Okay? Now, you lost Sonny because, well, Sonny was just acting like a jackass. That's why you lost Sonny. So you can't sit there and blame that. You can't blame that on Nina. You really can't. And it's always funny when people that are Carly fans who will sit there and be like, well, she really did steal her life. And it's like, well, how? Tell me how. Because I'm a Carly fan and I can't sit there and see how she actually stole her life. But she did pretty much just make a veiled threat in a sense of, I'm going to take back everything that's mine. And Nina was like, is that a threat? And she was like, I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe not. Who knows? It depends on how I feel, pretty much. Now, when she sits there and says she's going to take back everything, she doesn't just mean the hotel. She means Sonny as well. Or at least that's what she wants Nina to sit there and think. They go back and forth a little bit, and then she leaves. This scene, okay, so this scene with Mac and Felicia and the kids is just completely stupid. It makes no sense, and we could have done without that scene, and we would have all been better for it. But the thing that is out of pocket for me. So let me get this straight. I don't think Felicia's actually raised any of her kids. She came back into their lives years later on after chasing around Frisco because, well, apparently she thought it was more important to chase around Frisco than to be an actual mother. But she comes back, right? And Mac is clearly out of his element for some odd reason. Even though he raised three daughters by himself, he has no idea what's going on. He has no idea how to sit there and stop Georgie and James from fighting. And then Felicia comes in there and she just kind of gets everything settled. And at the end, Mac is like, well, how'd you do it? And she's like, oh, well, I'm magic. I'm just like, no, I'm pretty sure that's just bad writing at this point. Pretty sure that's just bad writing. But again, it was a completely pointless scene, so there's that. Now, the thing that just really didn't care about was the whole Sam and Molly scene. Molly sitting there talking about how she wants to have a kid. Well, first of all, she fell down the stairs. I don't know if this is in real life, like she actually hurt herself or whatever, but apparently she was wearing some sort of high heels that she never wore and fell down a flight of steps, which I'm going to be honest, I wish I would have saw that because it would have been kind of funny. Um, now she has this little ankle bracelet on, or foot bracelets, whatever the hell it is called. And she's talking about how she wants to have kids, and she don't want to be like all those other women that just constantly dominates the conversation about having kids. But that's exactly what she wound up doing. And talk about her options, and maybe even using Christina as one. What you see in the previews, that they're going to have a much more civilized conversation because, let's be honest, I'm just so over Molly acting like a 12-year-old little girl. I just said. Um. Okay, so a scene that was kind of funny, even though it wasn't supposed to be funny, was when Porsha was not there. She was just sobbing and crying and stuff like that because of Curtis. And Finn, like, walked halfway through the door, heard it, saw her and was just like, I think she might have heard me. I gotta go out there and try this whole comforting her thing. God damn it. So he walks out there and he's all being awkward, whatever, like, oh, you're okay. Well, of course, okay. There's something I can do. And, Porsha starts talking about Curtis and just how he's dealing with things and just, she's upset about the situation. My dude could not wait to sit there, and it practically had Liz on speed dial, like, yeah, I'm not equipped to this. No, it's nothing. He just texting Liz, SOL to sit there and kind of get him out of that situation because apparently he's, which is really odd because it's like he seemed like he wasn't really good as far as comforting her, but then he goes in Curtis' room, and maybe because they both suffer from addiction, that he's able to sit there and just really have a conversation with him and just kind of get him to see that asking for help isn't a bad thing, and it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. But I'm just like, you couldn't sit there and offer any words of wisdom or just be a sounding board at best. It's like, oh, nope, nope, she's crying. I want my depth. Um, and it's funny too because during my live stream, um, Monique was sitting there talking about how Curtis felt and that he, it's about pride as far as not being a burden on people and doing things for himself, which he literally did sit there and say, yeah, it's just the male pride or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's just the male ego, pretty much. Something that Charlamagne always sits there and talks about, the fragile male ego. And hell, you saw that in full force when he practically told Liz that I don't want to see Porsha and I don't want to sit there and see Trina. Those two are not to become, not to come in my room. After Porsha did talk to Liz, she went right back in there and she was like, yo, listen, we're going to sit there and get through this together. And that's it. Put the pamphlet down on his legs, which actually sounds like a really bad joke right now, and then just walked out. But she pretty much just like, yo, listen, we're going to get through this together. And that's just it. That's just the bottom line. And Curtis is just like, oh, okay, I guess this is going to happen. Um, it was a nice little scene, I guess. Uh, Cody does finally tell Dante the truth, which is nice. Because, he knew once he told him the truth. Because here's the thing. He's not there talking about Sasha and how Sasha's not acting like herself and, the people around her. He's doing this whole going around circles thing. And Dante's like, well, if you claim to actually really care about her, you tell me what's going on because you've just been talking in circles for the past 20 minutes. And so he, tells him everything about the games and him fixing the matches and stuff like that. And Gladys is in a lot of debt. So he pretty much told Dante all of it. So Miss Wu is not one to sit there and play games. And when Miss Wu finds out, apparently, she's not going to be a good day. It's not going to be a good day for Cody. Hell, it may not be a good day for Dante at that point, depending on what happens. Maxie comes to go and see Sasha. Gladys is in there, and the doctors, both being huge, giant POSs, making Sasha think that all those conversations that she had with Sonny and everyone else about encouraging her to get better, that it was just her mind tricking her. Being delusional, thinking whatever she wanted to think to get through the pain or whatever. It was just making her seem like she was going crazy the entire time and that she was never better, which is just, well, god awful. But she goes out there to try to stall Sasha. I mean, to try to. Well, she goes outside because hey, let the doctor do his work. Even though Sasha's sitting there literally pleading, like, "Yo, listen, don't leave me alone in the room with this dude. Like, come on, help me out." And of course, she has that little hint of man, I can't even come up with the word for it. Guilt, I guess, which really doesn't describe Gladys at all. But she does talk to Maxie and, try to persuade Maxie, no, the doctor's in there, be good for her, just sit there and be with the doctors, they know what they're doing, and just takes her off for a cup of coffee, which apparently she's going to spend Sasha's money to pay for that as well. Then the doctor, injects Sasha with something to make sure that she's all docile and just, tripping on whatever drugs that's on there. So, man, that's actually about it. I don't know. This episode just, I don't know what's going on with the pacing of the show. I know it probably has a lot to do with the writer's strike and stuff like that, and then bringing in these other writers and stuff. Because this week has just been very inconsistent. It's like yesterday's episode was almost like today's episode. You know, like it wasn't really great. I know it's when it was Thursday, but like, it could have been better what it was. It really could have been better what it was. It's like they just had like pointless scenes in there. It's like no one, even with the whole Molly and Christina, the whole Molly and Sam thing, as far as the whole surrogacy thing. It's like, all right, yeah. In general, that story was a lot better than what was going on with Felicia and Mac because that was just entirely pointless. But I also don't really care that much about this whole surrogate story. And also, again, I don't really care about the new Molly. That's something else that's just been like bothering me, and it's just been. I don't want to say it's been taking me out the scenes or the story, but it really has though. It's been very difficult to actually care as far as their storyline is going. I don't think I probably would have cared that much, but I know I care a whole lot less with this new actress. Um, I don't know. I can't really think of anything else that wound up happening throughout this episode. So if I missed anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, GH, Days, YNR, and B&B. With that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.